In this course, we are going to build a beautiful, fully responsive WordPress website with Elementor without writing a single line of code. Hello, my name is John. I have been a software developer working with various parts of technology for over 5 years, and I've been teaching almost as long. I have lots of experience with WordPress, and I'm excited to help you build your dream website today. At the end of this course, you'll be able to build a complete, multi-page, fully responsive website with all of the features that a typical website should have, and we'll show you how to make the website load in under 2 seconds. We're going to work through the entire process of building a website step by step together from scratch. We'll show you the fundamentals of WordPress and how to extend functionality with plugins, which allows you to do just about anything. We'll use popular page builder plugin, Elementor, which allows you to do all of this just by dragging and dropping. This course is for you if you want to learn how to build WordPress websites without learning how to code and without any technical experience. WordPress and Elementor is a great choice to build websites because it gives you full control over what your site looks like and does while still being beginner friendly. You'll be able to build just about any website you want without writing any HTML or CSS. This course is also for you if you want to design websites for other businesses. While we don't teach HTML and CSS in this course, the tools we use are extendable, meaning these are valuable skills even if you are a developer. This course is free. The only costs are the products we use throughout the course. I look forward to seeing you inside. And so before we get started, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're always adding new videos on how to run your website and grow your business. We have videos on SEO, WordPress, e-commerce, and a lot more. This channel is beginner friendly, and we look forward to helping you build your website and achieve your goals. And so from YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching this video, click the link in the description or visit this link, truthseekers.io/elementor-course-udemy, and to be taken to the page where we will have all the links used in this course. And the first thing we're going to need is web hosting, which is essentially a computer that stores the content of your site, and that computer is accessible to everyone. So your text and images all need to live somewhere, and that's what hosting is for. We'll also get your domain name at the same place, which is the name of your website. In my case, it's truthseekers.io. And if you use my links to purchase these products, I may get compensated at no extra charge to you. I would appreciate it if you used my affiliate link to help me continue doing these videos. We're going to use Bluehost, which is a shared hosting plan, and it's a perfectly good choice for getting your site up and running. I've been able to get my website to load in under 2 seconds with the most basic plan. So please click on the Bluehost link, and an older version of me will walk us through the next section. So what you'll want to do is go ahead and click Get Started, and then you only really need the basic plan. And then if you already have a domain, you can type it in here. Otherwise, you can select New Domain over here. And it's really hard to find a .com domain. I mean, I would recommend trying, but if you can't find one, don't feel bad. It's perfectly okay to use a .net, .org, .info, or .co, or .us, or whatever sort of thing, whatever ending you want to use. It's all a matter of personal preference. So I will go ahead and go with .co, and then I'll click Next. Okay, and so this domain is available. So you'll want to enter your information, and then you'll want to select an account plan. The longer the plan you have, the cheaper it is going to be per month. I'm just going to go with this basic 12-month plan here for now. And then the only thing that, you want to make sure you have SSL, but that comes included, so you don't have to worry about that. You also really want to have the domain privacy protection, so make sure that this one is checked. And then these are optional. These just kind of increase site security a little bit more and make sure that there's no malware or anything like that on your site. But that's up to you depending on your budget. The only thing you need is for sure is this domain privacy protection. And then so you want to go ahead and enter your credit card information, and then again, you'll click this accept box and then go ahead and click submit, and I will see you on the inside. Okay, and once you're in, all you have to you set a password and then hit the login button. And maybe you'll have to enter your password, maybe not. Okay, so you just pick a theme, and it really doesn't matter, so I'm just going to say Ocean WP. Okay, and okay, so it's putting it on a temporary domain. Okay, so we can just go ahead and hit start building. Page you, okay, I guess not. So let's go ahead and just go to our account then. So we'll hit hosting, I guess. And that's it. We're in the admin area. And so we're all pretty much set up, unless you have a domain name from another registrar like GoDaddy or something. Then you'll need to point your domain over to Bluehost or transfer it over into Bluehost. And this is something that Bluehost chat support can help you with. So you can either click on this question mark and it'll probably take you to a page that looks like this. And then there's a little chat icon that you can chat with them about and get help. Another option is clicking this domains tab here, and then you should be able to migrate or pull it in. But there's a little bit of a side track, so we're not going to cover that in this video, but chat support can definitely help you out with that. So anyway, we're going to start from scratch in our admin area. And so we're going to click My Sites. And then if you have a site here, you can click Manage Site. And we're going to do Settings and then Delete Site, just so we can start from scratch, because I may end up using a different theme than what I did in that video, so, or the setup video. So we're going to do Add Site, Create New, and then Limitless Customization. And then we're going to have, you can name it whatever. We're going to change it. So we're just going to add whatever, and then you can check out the advanced, but we're actually going to do that in the next step. So we're going to hit next, and then here's our domain, and you want to leave this blank. So we're going to choose the domain that you want, and then we're going to uncheck all of these because we don't need to bloat up our website. So we'll hit next. Okay, so we are at the point where we can log in now. So let's make the very first thing we do is go into the dashboard and then change our password. So I'm going to grab the current password, and then we're going to go to our login page. And it's always, well, the easiest way to get there is to go to your domain and then wp-admin. So we'll do that, beepbop.co for me, /wp-admin. And then let's take a look. So I've got the username is John and then this funky password. So I'm going to say that and then add the password. We're going to hit login. Okay, and we're in the login, or we're in the admin area of WordPress now. And it's currently displaying the coming soon site, but this coming soon page. So let's go and we're going to change users. And see, we have this little sidebar area with a users tab, and we can click all users. Or you could just click it here and it'll take you, there's multiple ways to get there. So here's our user. So we're going to click on the user, and then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to set our password to whatever you want the password to be. And I'm going to grab my password manager password. Okay, and then I'm going to hide the password so you can't see it. I'm going to paste in my password, and then I'm going to hit update profile. Oh, wait a minute, actually. Well, let's give it a try. So I'm going to open up an incognito window now, and just to make sure that that worked. So go to the domain. With wp-admin, I'm going to type in my username and the password I just made. Hit login, and it appears to work. So we're good to go with that. Let's launch our site. So it currently has this coming soon page, and we don't want, oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, maybe it's because I'm logged in. Here, I just closed out of those. Let's open up a new window, beepbop.co. Okay, yeah, so we got a new WordPress site coming soon. So we want to launch the site. So inside of our dashboard area, we can launch it. So you can click this coming soon. And then, where is it? I think it's settings. And then this coming soon page will just toggle this button to off. Okay, so it's off. And then I think if you just refresh, I think it automatically saves. Yeah, so there we go. So now if we open an incognito window, go to the website, and it should work. So our site is officially launched. Congratulations. Now we need to install our page builder. So we're going to go back to the main page that we're using for all of our links, and that is truthseekers.io/elementor-course-udemy currently, or check in the description wherever you're watching this video. But we're going to be clicking on this Elementor link, and that's what we're going to be using in this tutorial. It's the most popular page builder in use currently, and there's a lot of great extensions for it, for like e-commerce, and so you can use it just for about any website needs that you have. And so once again, this is an affiliate product, so it may be compensated at no extra charge to you. So go ahead and click on it. Once we're on the website here, you'll want to go to the pricing page, and you can get the package that fits your needs. And so if you're only using one website, then you can just use this essential one here. And so you'll want to click buy now, and then, obviously do the purchasing. And then once you're all set up, then you'll end up in the login page or your account page. And so I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'll see you inside. Okay, once you're inside your account dashboard area, you can, on the left side, there should be like a subscriptions button or something like that. If you click on that and then you click download zip, that will allow you to download the Elementor Pro plugin. And so once that's downloaded, you'll go to wherever it was downloaded, probably in your downloads folder. And here it is right here. So the next thing we need to do is go over to our website and upload it. So we'll go over to our dashboard in WordPress. So your site/wp-admin. And then if you go on the sidebar and you click on plugins, and then you'll want to add new. And then upload plugin, and then choose file, and then the Elementor Pro that we just downloaded. So you'll hit install now. Okay, and so this plugin has been installed, and I believe we can hit activate, but there's a free version that we need to install as well. Okay, so we need to install the free version, and so we'll go and you'll hit plugins again, and then add new. And then this time you can search for all of the plugins in the plugin marketplace, I guess you would call it. So in the search plugins, we can say Elementor, and then enter. And then we've got this Elementor website builder, and this is the free version. And so you need both of them to be installed to use it. So we'll hit install now. Well, to use the Pro version, which you need if you're going to be doing templates and stuff. So we're going to do that, and then we'll hit activate. Okay, and then let's go back to our plugins. And then we can see Elementor Pro, and then we'll have to click this connect and activate button. And then it allows us to activate your license. And so you can hit activate. And if all goes well, then you should end up at this screen here where it says status is active, and it gives you your email address, and you can switch and disconnect and all that stuff. So let's do some basic troubleshooting just in case you had any issues. And so if you don't get the active, then what I would recommend doing is first of all going and checking your plugins by clicking the plugins in the tab bar, and then make sure both Elementor and Elementor Pro are set to active. And you can tell they're active because they'll have a deactivate option. And so make sure they're both active. And then on the Elementor side of things, you want to make sure that some other website is not active in its place and that you have enough subscriptions available. So my current subscription allows 3 websites, and so any more than that and they won't let me do it. So what you'll have to do is you can click on subscriptions here, and then you can click the 3 site activations, and then you can deactivate a site if you're not using it. Otherwise, you'll have to make sure it is active. So that's pretty much the only troubleshooting that should be necessary, and hopefully that will help you get everything activated and ready to go. So the next thing we'll do is start actually building the site. What I'd like to do first is build out the empty versions of the pages that we're going to build. So in our dashboard area for the website, we can go over to pages, and then we can create each of the pages. And so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this sample page. I'll just click the checkbox and then trash. And that'll get rid of it. And then we're going to be making an about page, a blog page, a contact page, and a home page. So I'm going to add all 4 of those. So I'm going to hit pages, add new. And I'm going to close out of that. And then I'm going to just give this a title. So we're going to call it contact. I'm just going to hit publish. Okay. And then I'm going to click this W to go back to the pages, and we have the contact page now. So I'm going to hit add new again, and I'm going to have this one be called about. I'm going to hit publish, and then I'm going to make an empty blog page, add new blog, publish, and then one more for our home page. Add new, home, publish. Okay, we have all 4 of our pages now, and then the next thing I'd like to do is set up the home page, like right here. If you just go to the website without any URL, right now it takes us to these like blog posts, and so we want this to go to our home page. So if we click the W again and go into our WP admin, we can go into, I think it's settings and reading, and that'll allow you to choose your home page. So we have it currently set to latest posts, which is like a blog page, and it has a default template that it uses, so that's why it has a list. But we're going to switch it to static page, and then we're going to select our home page, and we're going to make it home. And our post page, you could set it to blog, but then it's going to use the default template that's set up by default in WordPress. And so we want to customize our blog page using the Elementor page builder. So we're going to keep this as select, and then we're just going to use the blog page manually without this setting. So just keep this as select, and then we'll hit save changes. Okay, so that's been saved. And now if we go back to our home page, we're not going to get the list of blog posts anymore. We're just going to get this empty page. And I think the next thing I'd like to do is get rid of this green background, and we can do that by switching out the theme. So let's go back to our admin area. And then we're going to go to appearance and themes. And just a quick note, the themes are basically how the website looks and feels, and then plugins actually extend functionality. So like with plugins, if you were a realtor, you could add an MLS plugin, which would pull in real estate homes for, listed on the MLS, and you could list them on your site. That's not something that happens by default in WordPress. It's an extension that extends functionality. So that's what plugins, that's the difference between plugins and themes. So right now we're using 2021, and I want to go ahead and delete these themes because you don't want to have unnecessary bloat that you're not using. So I would just keep 2 themes. So you can keep 2021 and then the theme that you're going to end up using. So we're going to hit delete for 2019, and I'm going to delete 2020. Okay, so we just have this one, and then we're going to add one more. And so we're going to have to click on this WordPress.org themes button here. And then we're going to want to search for Astra. Oh, and it's actually right there. It's a super popular theme, extremely popular. So we'll hit install. All right, and then we're going to hit activate. Okay, great. So now you'll notice that we have an active theme for Astra, and then 2021 is a theme that exists, but it's not active. And so you want to have at least one other theme. That way, in case you have to troubleshoot, you'll want to deactivate this theme and then activate something else to make sure that this theme isn't causing a problem. But that's for troubleshooting stuff way down the road, so don't worry about that, but just know that we'll want to have two themes. Okay, so we have the theme now, so let's go check out our website again. Okay, and so we notice it looks quite a bit different, and that's because the theme has been changed, the look and feel of the website. So now we can start editing this page, and you can do it two ways. You can go here and do edit page, or you can just click the W icon, and we're just going to do it this way, the long way for the first time. So then we'll go to pages, all pages, and then we'll select home page, and you can see that it's got this front page little text here because of the settings that we set up earlier. And now we should, if everything is working properly, you should have this button that says edit with Elementor. So you can click that, and you'll want to also change the, well, so for pages, typically I like to have them full width. And so you can say sidebar, no sidebar here, and then we'll hit update. And I think you can do this in the Elementor editor also, but let's just do that here just to make sure. Okay, so when I clicked that edit with Elementor button, and now here we are in Elementor settings. And so, or this is where we are able to build our page. And so I want to click on this settings gear icon, and we can set this page layout to Elementor full width, and then we can hit update. And that should make this page a full width page, if that's what you want. And so from here, you can build a page from scratch and, you know, set up the columns, the certain width that you want, and you can add multiple columns. And that's all great. But if you're not a designer, it can be pretty challenging to actually design the website. So really, the hard part is not the coding or anything like that. If for me at least, the hard part is actually saying, oh, this color looks really nice with this section here, and I like the, you know, the angle that goes up, and so actually designing it is challenging, especially if you're not a designer. So the benefit of using Elementor is they have templates, and so if you click this little folder icon, you can add an existing template. And I would highly recommend that if you don't have a design background, to just borrow from one of these templates. And you can also not just use an entire page, but you can also use a block. So they have a blocks section where you can get individual blocks. And then lastly, if you don't like anything, so you can mix and match too. And then if you finally can't find anything, there is probably like a marketplace like Envato or, you know, whatever. I'm sure there's plenty of places. Just do a Google search for Elementor templates and you can find something that you like. But what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to use the search bar and we're going to find gym. And then we're going to use this homepage fitness page here. And so we're going to click on that and then we're going to insert it. And here we go. And so now let's just click update. And then let's actually go to the main page. I'm going to open a new tab, go to beepbop.co. I'm also going to close out of the Elementor page, our website. Okay, so this is our site so far. And so this is what they've provided us with the template. It only took like 2 seconds. So now let's customize this to fit our own business. The first thing I'd like to do with customizing the site is to set up our global theme colors. And what this is where you can change a color one place and it'll change for the entire site. So for example, right here, we've got this light blue, this 3 sets of light blue text, right? And if you were to, like, say 6 months down the road, you're like, you know what, I'm going to do a site redesign and I want to make it an orange, right? So this orange, if you want to change it without setting up a global color, you would have to change it here, 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 and that's 3 places. This looks like it might be the same blue, so that would be the 4th place that you'd have to change it. Number 5, 6, 7, 8. And so if you have hundreds of pages, that's going to be a complete nightmare to try to change all of those colors in every single place and not miss one. And here's another one. So you want to use global theme colors when possible. So in order to set that up, let's go back to the editing page. And here in this top 3 bar section, we'll click that. We'll hit Site Settings and then Global Colors. And then we've got 4 by default: primary, secondary, text, and accent. And I'm going to be completely honest, I'm actually not much of a designer. I'm more of a developer who takes advantage of page builders when possible. But I'm still kind of working on perfecting the flow of using these appropriately. But we're just going to use our own. We're going to make our new global colors. So just keep in mind that this might not be perfect. I'll probably link to another video when I get this process better. But I'm going to go ahead and rename primary to Catalina Blue. This is just what I did in the tutorial when I was building this. So I'm going to do Sapphire. Oops, I think it was 2 P's. Okay, and then I think I kept this one as text, and then accent is French Pouce. And then I called this second one, or this one, colored hyphen text. And then text hyphen light. Color 2. American bronze. Faded text hyphen light. Okay, so those are all the colors that we're going to end up using throughout the site. And I apologize for this poor setup, but we'll just have to deal with it for now. And again, I'll link to another video. So anyway, this Catalina Blue, we're going to click here, and it's going to be 0F3876. And then I'm going to click out of it. And then I'm going to click this one, and Sapphire is going to be #105 3A7. And so these are just color values. And then text is going to be 7A, 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 and that's already correct. And then French Pouce is going to be 4F, 1A09, 1A09. Okay, and then this colored text is going to be #ECA800. And then text hyphen light is going to be #FFFFFF, which is all white. The color 2 is going to be 151 C40. Okay, and then American bronze is going to be #3411 341105. And then faded text light is going to be #FFF. So that's 6 F's and then an 85 at the end, which adds opacity so you can kind of see through it. I don't know why I call it faded text. I don't think the text itself is transparent. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. And okay, so I'm going to hit update. And that's going to change a couple of the default colors. Okay, so we've got the global site color set. So now we can use these in our designs. So I'm going to go back to the editor. You could click that button, or you could just right or click on the thing, and there should be like an exit to editor or something like that. But that's where I ended up. And so now we're going to, as long as you hit update, you can just come back to this page. So let's edit this page. And in order to edit, you're going to have to understand that there are sections, columns, and elements. And so sections contain columns, and you can have multiple columns, and then there's elements inside of the columns. And well, I guess at the bottom, let's go ahead and create just a quick section just to kind of get the hang of it real quick. So if you click this plus, you can choose the column layout. So let's say we choose a 2 column and it's all like offset like this. You can actually just adjust the size of it. And then when you click on an element, a section, or a column, there's going to be a layout, style, and advanced tab for each of them, or for most of them. So if you click on the section, you can see the layout and you can adjust things like the height. And then there's the style where you can adjust things like the background color. So background color, you can make it red, and then this entire section will be red. And then the same thing with the element, but it's going to depend on, each element is going to have a unique or a specific set of things that you can edit. So like the text or the heading is going to have a text and a link that you can add, and what kind of H tag you want to use. Alignment, so you could put it over to the right. Well, okay, so we're going to make a really tiny column just to demonstrate the alignment. So this is right aligned. You can make it left aligned or center. So just stuff like that. It's pretty simple and you'll get the feel for it pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Let's go back up here and edit things. So this here is what we're dealing with, and it's a section. So let's edit the section. We're going to click on these 6 dot things to edit the section. Oh, and then one more thing is the navigator. So there's navigator and history. So navigator allows you to grab things. So it's an alternative. So like you can click this section and grab it, or you can get to it with this navigator. So we've got this, it's called the hero section. If we wanted to grab this section here, it's probably this one below it. So if we click on this one, then we can see that this section is being currently selected. And then you can click the down arrow and then you can get one of the 3 columns. So we've got 1, 2, 3 columns. So if we wanted to select the middle column, we could just click it. And then now we can see that this middle column is selected. And then you could have multiple elements in a column. So we can see here, we've just got 1. So if we wanted to edit the image box inside here, we could just click it that way. So the navigator helps when you have things that are overlapping each other that make it difficult to grab an element. So there are going to be situations where it's hard to grab, so you can just use the navigator. And then the history is kind of interesting, but we'll talk about that later, I think, because I don't want to mess up any sort of changes that we've made. So I'll talk about that in a moment, or a little bit later. So let's change this background here from white to our theme colors brown. So we're going to select the section, and we're going to want to edit the style. And then we have a background color of currently set to white, but if you click over here, you can set it to red or whatever. Because we already have our global colors set, I'm just going to click this little globe kind of icon, and then I'm going to choose French Pouce. And there we go. Here is our background color. And then if we want to change this text, we're going to change it to build Olympian strength. So I'm going to type build Olympian strength. Okay. And then I don't like the color of this text. So once again, we're going to go into the style. Again, this text, this header is the one that's selected. So we're going to hit style, text color, and then I'm pretty sure I just used text light for this. And now we can't see it. So that's no good either. Let's change the background color of what appears to be a column. So if we click this column, we hit style and background color, we can adjust the color. And the color we're going to end up using, I accidentally did not set this as a global theme color. So we can play around with this if we want. So I'm going to first just paste in this color. That's the color that we ended up using in the site. But we could try a custom color. So maybe like sapphire, and then just make it have a little bit more opacity. But to be quick, I'm just going to go ahead and use this color. And this is 151C40AB. And again, the AB at the end is for the opacity. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And then we're going to grab this text here, and then we're going to also change that to the global color. So we're going to use text color, and we're going to use text light. All right, there we go. And I'm going to change this text to be develop explosive power and strength with the fundamental lifts like the clean and jerk, snatch, squat, and deadlift. All right, so that's good. And then we're going to want to change this color of the button. So again, click at and the button is an element. So if you click it, it's again going to have a style option, and you can adjust this link to go to like a buy page or wherever you want it to go. So we're not going to deal with buttons too much, or at least not right now. So let's just work on the style for now. So we're going to click here, and then we're going to make the color a yellowish color. And so we're going to click the global, and we already have our colored text here. So it's not really a very good name because this is not text, this is a background, but that's fine for now. So now we can change anything that's yellow, we can change quickly. So like I showed you the global color benefits earlier. So we have that as yellow. And then for a hover, you may not want it to be purple on hover. So you can see that this normal is grayed here. So that means normal is selected. If you click hover, then you can adjust the hover color as well. So I'm going to hit custom and choose French Pouce. So now you can tell when you're hovered over the button. So that's good. And so that's pretty much it for that. The next thing what we want to do is adjust this image. And so when you're editing images, or when you're specifically using an existing template, you'll want to use a similar type of image. And what I mean by that is mostly the dimensions. So you want to use a similarly sized image as this one. Otherwise, it might not fit properly, and it's not going to look as good. So what we want to do is we want to look at and figure out the dimensions of this image. And the easiest way that I think to do this is to just click in the area where the image is going to be. So in this case, it's a background image for the section, and you'll eventually be able to tell by experience, but just click on the section, and then we can see this background, and there is an image here. So if we hit choose image, we should be able to see the current image that's selected, and we see that it's 1073 by 880 pixels. So we'll want to find another image, if we don't want to use this one, that matches those dimensions. So you can go to Shutterstock or Pexels or wherever you want to go to get your image. I used Shutterstock for most of these images that we'll be using in this course, and they're just the free non-paid version, so they got all the watermark on them, but that's totally fine because this is just a sample. So anyway, we need a picture that's 1073 by 880. So what I ended up doing was I found a bunch of images. You can find in the zip file, there is an image here, and so, or a bunch of images that we're going to use. And so you'll want to find guy -doing -clean and jerk original. And so this one is the one that was downloaded from Shutterstock. And so we need to get it to the correct dimensions, which is 1073 by 880. Currently, this one is like 1500 by 1101. So we need to figure out how to get that to the correct size. And so I'm going to do this once in the video, and then the rest of it, I'm just going to assume that you know how to do it. That way we can cut down the time on this video. So I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to iloveimg.com. And this is my favorite tool for quickly editing and cropping and resizing images. So the first thing we're going to need to do is crop an image. And so I'm going to take that original image here, I'm going to drag and drop it in to the editor, and then we're going to crop it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to crop out that little Shutterstock icon, or that bar at the bottom. So we don't want that. So we're going to get rid of it right there. And then, oops, I didn't mean to. Okay, that should be good. And then we're going to get the rest of this top here. Okay, so we're going to crop that and then download it. Okay, so this has been downloaded, and then we can open up our downloads folder. Okay, so I've got downloads over here. And so now we've got this guy doing clean and jerk original 1. So now we're going to want to resize this image to the correct dimensions. And so we're going to have to do one more crop after that. So anyway, let's click resize. And then I'm going to drag and drop that cropped version. And we get 1500 by 999. And what we need is 1073 by 880. So let's type in 1073 in the width, and the height is 715. So that means that this is the wrong way to do it. So because we want to make sure that we can crop the rest of it out to get the correct size. So because the height is too small, let's start with the height. So we'll do 880 in the height, and then we end up with 1321 as the width. So that means we're going to crop some of the width to get our ideal height and width, which is 1073 by 880. So we already have 880 for the height, so we're going to end up cropping to get the 1073 for the width. So we're going to hit resize, and then we're going to download. Okay, and then we've got the second one. So we're going to go back to crop image, and then now we're going to pull in the newest image that we just downloaded. And we're going to say the height is 880, and then the width is 1073. So now we know what we need to crop. And so I'm going to put it right there. Right there. That looks good to me. So 1073 by 880, crop. Now download. All right, there we go. And so we're going to get the most recently downloaded one. And that is, I think, this one, 212. Let's see, 111, and this one's 11. Okay, so this one's the newest one. So I like to do the name or the description and then the size. So 1073 x 880. So that's the image we're going to upload to the WordPress dashboard or the WordPress admin area. So let's just hit X, and we're going to choose image, and we're going to upload the file. So we're going to select a file from our downloads, and we're going to pick this 1073 by 880 image. And so now it's the same size. So that's great. So it should look okay. So I'm going to hit insert media. And there we go. Cool. So let's hit update. You may want to hit update frequently just to prevent anything bad from happening. I'm going to refresh. So I'm looking at the site now, and okay, we have made quite a bit of progress. I'm going to close that out. And so, yeah. So the downside here is we got to figure out mobile now. So if we shrink the page down, it's not going to look okay. We don't want this guy's forearm and leg. We want like a centered version of him. And so you'll have to play around with that. But what I ended up finding out was a mobile version of the image works the best. And the dimensions that I ended up using are, I think, 500 by 600. So let's do that. We're going to use one from the image directory that I ended up creating for you for the zip file. So I'm going to close this page out. And then I'm going to close the Bluehost portal out too, just to kind of clean up. Okay, so we're back here, and you can choose a mobile friendly version, or like what'll happen is, so so right here, we're in this section editing area, and we've got this background image. This little icon here means this is for the desktop. So we can change it to be mobile. And so now we have no image set. So that's because it can set a breakpoint, so when you're viewing on a mobile sized screen, it will use a different image. So if you click select mobile, now we can choose an image and we can choose a mobile friendly version. So we're going to upload a file, and I'm going to use the mobile friendly version. So I got to go to wherever that is. So go to your course files. For me, that's going to be in, I think it's right here. Okay, so wherever it is for you, wherever your course files are, but for me, it's guy doing clean and jerk 500x600-mobile. So I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to hit insert. Okay, and this isn't always accurate in my opinion. So I'm going to hit update. Okay, and now let's give it a try. So I'm going to open up a new tab with Control T. That's a shortcut, but beatbop.co. And then now I'm going to shrink it down, and it looks good so far. Still looks all right. Still looks okay. Oh, and I think it just, oops. I think it just switched to mobile. So let me keep shrinking. And that looks so much better. You can see the whole guy and him squatting. So that is ideal, or much better than what we had before. So that's pretty much how you set up the mobile. And then I think that's it for this section. So now we can move on to this footwork, heart rate, and weightlifting section. And we're going to be dealing with icons here in this section, specifically SVGs. And you can also just use a PNG as well. That is totally fine. PNGs allow for transparent backgrounds. So either one is fine. And unfortunately, the license for the SVGs that I ended up using do not allow me to redistribute them. So I won't be able to give you the exact icons. You can just, I mean, this is just an example project, so you can, just pick whatever, or you can buy them if you want. So I found mine on iconfinder.com. So I typed in judo, and I found this one here. I also went in and typed in apple, and I found one that's kind of like this. This is not the exact one. The leaf is flipped the other way, but either way, you can find one that works for you. This is apple. And then over here, I typed in snatch, and then I found this one here at the bottom. So those are the three icons that I used, and I also had to modify them a little bit. And I'm not going to show the modifications in this video, but I will link to another video that I did that shows you how to modify icons. And I recommend a tool called Inkscape. I've tried things online and they just don't work very well. So I prefer to use just the very basic skills in Inkscape to modify icons or SVGs. So I'll show that in a separate video, and you can find that on the page somewhere. But we're just going to go ahead and close out these, and I'm going to go ahead and upload the icons, and you can do whatever you feel like is best. So let's see here. I'm going to go to the editing page. So I'm going to close this out. And then I'm going to close this I love IMG also. And then we're going to switch this back to desktop so we can see how it normally looks. And let's swap out these icons. So if you click here, we can choose image, and then we can upload file. So if we select file and we go to our downloads folder, I'm actually supposed to have icons visible here, but they're not visible because the Elementor settings don't allow me to use SVGs currently. So I'm going to have to click cancel. I'm going to cancel out of this, and then I'm going to go to the WP admin area. And there's actually an easier way to do this, but I want to show you the manual way. So if you go to Elementor, and I'm pretty sure it's settings, you can, let's see, advanced, I think it is. Okay, and so you can enable unfiltered file uploads. I'm pretty sure this is where it's at. So you can hit enable, and that will allow you to add SVG icons. And so this does have a potential security risk. SVGs really aren't the most secure, but they are very nice in terms of scaling. So you can scale something up infinitely large or infinitely small because it's a bunch of math that makes the image for the SVG. But for simplicity, we're just going to use enable. The alternative is to just use an image box or just use a PNG, and that will help. That will work as well. So I'm just going to hit save, and then we're going to go back to our page that we're editing, and so we're editing in the home page, and then I'm going to say edit with Elementor. And then I'm going to scroll down to this footwork. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to choose image, and I'm going to upload file, and we're going to go to our downloads folder, and now all of a sudden the SVGs are available. So I'm going to click this snatch icon. And again, you'll either have to buy these or just use a free one in its place, and then go do the modification video anyway, however you want to do it. So insert media, and there we go. And then I'm going to grab over here, and I'm going to edit this image box and this. And again, so like I was saying earlier, each element has its own separate or its own specific set of instructions. So because it's an image box, it has an image, a title, and text. And the other ones, like this heading, only has text. So it's going to be a little bit different, but it's pretty self-explanatory, so don't worry too much about it. So we're clicking this image box. We're going to choose image. And this one's going to be the apple. So I'm going to upload. I'm going to find a nutrition icon. I'm going to hit insert. And then over here, I'm going to get the judo one. So I'm going to choose image, upload, select, and judo. Insert. All right, so we're set for that. And now we're going to edit this text. And so I'm not going to say footwork. I'm going to say master technique. And then this one is going to be nutrition guidance. And you'll notice you can change it here or you can change it over here. They're both connected. They're both the same thing. And so over here, I'm going to say variety of classes. Okay. And then I'm going to change this text. Perfect your lifts with the help of our USAW certified coaches. I'm going to edit this one, and we'll say personalized nutrition plans to reach your fitness goals, period. And over here, I'm going to change it over here this time. And then we're going to say balance out your strength with our judo and wrestling classes, period. Okay, cool. And then we're also going to change these colors. So in order to change the colors of the image box, we're going to do that in the style. So we're going to hit master technique, style, and we're going to say, let's see, I think it's content. And then this is the title. So we've got this tab here for content. So this is the styling for the content. And then these are different options. So title, description, etc. So we can set this title. I'm going to say the yellow. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab the style of the content. Oops. And I'm going to say yellow. And again, I'm grabbing these from the global colors. And then I'm going to grab this one, style, and then content, and then yellow. And I think these are going to stay white, but I am going to change the background of the purple, or this section. So I'm going to click section, and then I'm going to take style and change it to, what is it, sapphire? Okay, so that should work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next section, which is this little featured classes area here. And I'm going to first swap out the background image. So we're going to click the 6 dots again to edit the section background. I'm going to hit choose image, and we're going to see that this current image is 1600 pixels by 1353. So 1600 width, 1353 height. And so we can find something. Typically, the idea would be, okay, get an image that's exactly this size. But it turns out that I actually did not follow my own advice. I don't remember why or if there was a reason for it. But the image that I wanted to use is here in this course files images called gym background. And so if I hover over it, we can see it's 1500 by 998. So that was my mistake. Try to keep the dimensions of the images the same as the image provided by the template. All right, let's move on. We're going to hit upload files, select files, and then I'm going to go to the folder, course files, images, and then we're going to select gym-background. Okay, so 1500 by 998 will do, even though the other one is 1600 by 1353. And again, you can use that I love IMG to resize things as you want. Okay, so we got that. So let's change the text and colors of these 3 sections to fit our design. So we're going to grab, oh, and we have an intersection actually here. So that's an element. You can check out that video on intersections specifically. I'll link to that. That would be super helpful when you want to really customize and have limitless design abilities. But anyway, let's go ahead and just keep it simple for now. So I'm going to grab this intersection. Actually, I'm going to grab the text, and then we're going to hit style, and then we're going to make this text color colored text. We're going to make this one colored text. Okay, and then we're going to make the backgrounds blue, and I'm pretty sure it's the entire section that has the background. So let's give that a try. So select the intersection, style, and then background color. I think it's color 2. Okay, so we'll do that for the other 2. All right, and then we'll change the text color to white. And I'm going to use text light as the global color. That way we can change all of them at once. Okay, and then let's change the buttons. So I'm going to make it the sign up color, the background is going to be yellow. And then let's also change the hover color because this purple doesn't really fit our design at all. So we'll just go up through it and change the hover. And we did it with French Pouce as the hover color in the other button earlier. So let's just do that with all of these. So we'll click hover, French Pouce, and then we'll do this one as well. Hover, French Pouce. Okay, cool. And then we'll also want to get this text here. So you can see it kind of disappeared when we switched the background. So this heading is going to be this colored text. At least that'll work for me. Okay, and then we want to switch out these images. And so if you're not careful, you can end up with problems with images. So I want to update this page, and I want to go take a look at it real quick. So, okay, so it's updated. So now let's go to beepbop.co or your web domain. And we'll look down here. Okay, and we see these images here. And let's shrink it down. And so right about here, you'll notice it doesn't look very good with this lady. It's just her leg. And so that's not the ideal picture. So you'll want to adjust to make things look better. And so we can do that by just making sure that we're having appropriate images at the appropriate sizes. So we can basically just want to resize, and you can kind of play around with the correct image sizes to find one that works for your situation. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and switch out these images, and this is a background image for a column, and you can tell just by kind of clicking around. So if you click on the column and then we look at style, we can see that we have an image here, and so we can swap out this image. So let's choose our image, and I'm gonna upload file, select, and inside of our course files images, we should have a coaching weightlifting desktop. So we can grab that one, and then we've also got a mobile one. So, because we want it to look good on all screens. So we'll hit this, and we'll insert, and then let's hit update, and then refresh. Okay, and so if we scroll down, looks all right. And then it's just this guy bent over. So if you want to adjust it and make it look better for mobile, then you can get a mobile optimized version. So let's do that. So we'll go back here, and we've got the desktop image. That one's fine, but we'll want to switch it for when the breakpoint is on mobile. So we're going to choose image, and I've already resized them. Again, you can play around with resizing as much or as little as you want. I'm going to hit upload files, select file, and I'm just going to use this coaching weightlifting mobile image that I created. So we'll hit and select that one. And again, I did this with the iloveimg.com. So I'm going to hit insert, update, and then let's take a look and see if that looks better. Hopefully it does. I think I did it right. There we go. So it's not like a ton better, but you can at least see that there's weights. So this guy, this girl behind him is lifting a bar, and this guy is lifting a bar. So it's a lot more, people know what they're looking at. So that's good, or it's better at least. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this one down here. So I'm gonna go back to desktop. I'm gonna click this image, or this column, and then style, choose image, upload file, select file, and then there should be yoga desktop and mobile. So this one works for both desktop and mobile. We'll hit insert, and then I guess there's a specific issue with the tablet sized screens. So we're just gonna select tablet, and we're gonna select a tablet version. And again, I've already messed around with this and uploaded the images that work. So Yoga Tablet 1, and that one should get rid of the whole fact that her leg is the only thing visible. So we'll insert media. And then down here, we're gonna do like a competition type of image. So I'm gonna hit column, style, and then choose image for the background, upload, and again, from the course files, we're gonna do, competition weightlifting desktop. Then I'm gonna hit insert, and then, oops, that's tablet. Darn it. Okay, let me delete that. Go back to desktop, choose image. Okay, so make sure that one's selected for the desktop, not the tablet. Okay, so that's good. And then I think it was, I don't know if it was mobile. I think it was mobile. So we'll hit choose image, upload, select, and then in this files, we have a competition weightlifting mobile. So this should look good specifically for mobile devices. Okay, and we'll hit insert. And there we go. So let's update. And then we'll refresh. And let's take a look. So this looks good. Looks good, looks good. Shrinking it down, looks good. There we go. Yeah, so that looks fine. And then right here, when we get to this mobile version, we can see this one. I could fix this a bit more, but I'm a little bit lazy, and you kind of understand the picture by this point. So hopefully that makes sense how to adjust these images. Again, with iloveimg.com. And then this one here looks good for the weightlifting like competition. So now we can swap out the text. So I'm gonna go back one more time. I'm gonna switch this to desktop view. And then we're gonna swap out this text. So I am going to put in small group coaching here. So small group coaching. And then instead of flexibility and postures, I'll do mobility and yoga. And then here we'll do competition weightlifting. Okay, and then I've got some text here, and you can find that in this text file, content featured classes. So I just got long lines because I'm using a text file, which I probably shouldn't, but it's fine. So we'll grab that, and we're going to put that in place of this stuff. Okay, and one thing that I like to do when swapping out content with the default is I'll copy the default, and then I'll paste it into a text file. So like this, and then I'll try to write my own content that is approximately the same length. That way I know that it works in that specific location. And this is really just a matter of like, because you're most likely not a designer, so, but you still want to make it look decent. So take an existing template and fit your stuff into it. And then you can always kind of update as you go to make it more of your own. But that's just kind of like a crash course tip to help things go smoothly for you. So we're going to swap out the text from mobility and yoga. And so I've got this text here. I copied it. Then I'm going to paste. Okay, and then here for the small group coaching, copy that and paste. Okay, cool. So now I think we are pretty much done with this section. So let's hit update, and then we can move on to the next section, testimonials. Okay, so let's set up the testimonial section now, and we're going to start with the background color. So I'm going to just click that, and I'm going to hit style and color, and I think I'm going to end up using sapphire. And what we'll do next is change this text color, and we'll change that to a yellow. And then the next thing we'll need to edit is the testimonial. And actually, what we have here is an intersection with 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. And it looks like there's a small column and a larger column, and then a small column and a larger column. So you can kind of see, because when I hover over it, this little column icon shows up. And then in here, okay, let's see what's in here. So this is just a column with an image. And we can, the way that they do this circular thing is, I'm pretty sure it's with the style. Yeah, they just set the border radius to 100. So if we set it to 0, now it's a square. And so you can adjust the border radius. So 100 to have a circle. And then let's click on this one. And we end up with an icon box. And so you can select your own icon. I like the quotes because, you know, it's a testimonial and this is what this person is saying. But if you wanted to switch it, you could click icon and you could find, you know, from a ton of icons, you could pick something. And you could also upload your own SVG here. So that's something that may be of interest to you if you want to use something from like Icon Finder or Flat Icon or wherever. And then we've also got the title and description, and you can add a link. So if somebody hovers over this link, it would be clickable. And so you could take it to a testimonials page or maybe the customer's website if you're doing web design or, any reason to have their website on here. But you can add that. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. And also one more thing about the links is you can add them to open in a new window if you wanted. But we're going to leave all of that alone for now. We're just going to change the styling. So that's just kind of a basic idea of how to use it. So we're going to click the icon box, hit style, and then we're going to change you can also change the icon color. I'm going to leave it the same, just like this. And let's click the content. And this is the current color. Let's use a white color. Okay. And then let's use a white color over here as well. So content, title color is white. Okay. And then let's change the description. I'm pretty sure this is the description. If you aren't sure, you can go to content. And we've got title and description. I'm surprised it doesn't say description down here, but it looks like that's what this is. So let's go back to style, content, description. We're going to change the description. Let's try changing it to yellow. Okay, and so the name does change. That's what we were looking for. Let's go back to this other icon box, hit content, and then change this description to yellow. So that will be our website here so far. We do need to change the content to be relevant to our site. And I have a testimonials-text page in the notes files or the course files. I'm going to go ahead and copy that one. And then I'm going to switch this text out. So I'll go back to content. And I'm going to remove the existing stuff and paste in my own. And then we've got this one over here. We're going to copy the second line. Copy. And I'm going to, okay, be careful with that. So I guess in this case, it's better to just click on it and hit content. And so then we can remove the title and description and replace it with our own. I'm actually going to change this text, or the background, to Catalina blue. So let's do that. Okay, I think that looks a little better. And I think that's it for this section. So let's hit update, and then we'll scroll down to this choose your plan. Okay, and so we're going to switch this up a little bit. We're going to say basically just get 2 weeks free. And then pick a program that best fits your schedule and goals. All plans offer a full back money guarantee. That's fine. We'll just leave that as the default. And then let's see, we can change the entire section to be more of one of our global colors. So I'm going to change it to French Pouce again. And then I'm going to change this text color to a yellow. And then this one, maybe to like a white. So that works. Actually, you know what? Let's not do French Pouce. Let's do a darker American bronze, maybe. Okay, and then let's set this column, these columns, to yellow. And you can really just play around with this. This is just kind of, whatever you feel it looks good. So I'm going to click this one and switch it to yellow, and then this one also. Okay, and then I'm going to make these I'm going to make this one Catalina blue. Okay, and then I'll change this to also American bronze. And then we'll change this color here to American bronze. And you'll notice here, this is interesting because you can see that it's gone up higher. So like the box is here, but the text is kind of like up a little bit. If you click on the Advanced tab, you can see that we have this margin top of 17. And so if you drop it down, oh, well, if you go back to 0, you can see it kind of gets regular. So that's what it would normally look like, I think. Although this does look like it has some padding below, but the point is that if you want it to move up, you can use margin to do that. So we'll do -17. I'll make it negative there. And so now we can change this color. I just wanted to show you the margin, and we'll use that a little bit more later on. But we'll switch this text color to American Bronze. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then we'll also take a look at this text below, and we can click on it, and then we can see that it's just a heading, right? And so this text here is just says Open Gym. So if you want to figure out where this line is, you'll have to look at, I think it's the Advanced tab. And so we've got 20 padding of top set to top. So this padding is basically the space between the content and the edge of that element. So if we bring this down, we can see that it gets smaller. So I think that was at 20. Okay, and then if you click here, so we're still on the Advanced tab, but if you look at border, we can see that we have a top set to 1. So that's 1 pixel. So that's the thickness of the border. And so that's where that shows up at. So we can set that to 1 or whatever you want it to be. And then you can also set the border color. So I wanted to do like a color 2, like a dark blue, but I'm also kind of lazy and I don't want to do that for all of these. So I just kind of want to do it maybe once or twice. So we'll go to Advanced, border, width of 1 pixel, and then color 2. So that'll change the color. And I think I'm just going to leave this text here because it's pretty simple at this point to edit heading text. You should know how to do that by now. We've done it for a few times. And then the one thing that is different though is this grayed out text. So if we look at this text, like this text is not grayed out, we can go to Style and we can see our typography. And this is the style of the text. And so we can click this blue pencil and like the underline thing to kind of get an idea of what the specific styles are for this text. And we can see here what it is. And then it's actually the same thing, but you can adjust it. So you can adjust like the font weight, the size of the text, all of that kind of stuff. So I'd encourage you to play around with that. But the difference between the grayed out and the non-grayed out is the opacity of the text. So we got this here. So like, let's look at yoga style, and we can see that the opacity is 8.5. So this opacity here, this bar, is drug about halfway down. But if we look at this one, the one that's not grayed out, and we click on it, we can see that it's fully opaque or not opaque at all. There's no opacity set. So it's just fully, like you can't see through it at all. So that's the difference between these two. And so I'm going to leave those alone. I'm going to let you handle that however you want. And then the last thing we'll do is update these buttons. And then we're going to add a heading down here. But let's fix these buttons. So we're basically just going to change the color again. And I think we were doing, what were we doing above? Oh, we were doing yellow, but this is a yellow already. So maybe we should not do yellow, but have like the darker color. And then we could have maybe the brown as the hover color. So let's switch them all. I'm just going to use color 2, style, and color 2. That works. And then you could just leave it like this if you like it like that. But I think I actually will leave it like that. We could, what other color could we switch it to? We could switch it to brown on hover, but that's kind of pretty similar. So I think I'll just leave it like this for now. But that's the buttons, and then we can work on the actual, like, what happens to the button, or what happens when you click on the button, and we'll work on that in a later section of this video. But let's add a quick heading. And so this, we're actually going to add an element that's not a part of our template already. So you can click these bars, or these little 9 dots here up at the top, and then basically we just drag a heading in. So click, drag, and drop. And then you can center it if you want. And it's kind of close. Another option you could do, I think we might be able to drag it out. No, maybe not. Okay. So you could add padding above the header, because I don't like how close it is. So let's first of all change the color. So style, and I'm going to change this color to yellow. And again, it's way too close. So let's add some padding. Or you could also add margin. So advanced, and we'll say, we're going to say, we're unlink them. And we're going to say the margin is, let's say 30. 30 is fine. And then we'll go back to the content. And I want to set the size to XXL. Okay. And then we're going to add the text. We're going to change it to say, call now to get started. Oh, and it's, let's make it all caps. So call now to get started. Okay, and then let's add a smaller heading underneath it with the actual phone number. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And then we'll change that also to yellow. Cool, and then let's make it a little bigger. So size, we'll say XL. So that looks good. I think maybe a little bit more padding or margin. Either one works in this case. So let's just do padding this time just for fun. And there is a subtle difference between padding and margin, but I don't want to get into that right now because we're kind of trying to do like a speed run of building the site. So let's just hit update and then see how it looks. So we'll hit refresh. And there we go. And so this looks pretty good. I think that we are making a lot of progress. So instead of going on to the next pages, I'd rather show you how to make and customize the header and the template, or the footer, and then the blog page, and then we'll do the other pages, just to kind of add a little variety into the mix before we get repetitive. So the next thing we're going to do is set up our menu, and we'll do that by going back into the dashboard admin area. And then we're going to go to Appearance, Menus. And then here we're going to create our menu. And I'm just going to call it default. You can call it whatever you want. Maybe you'll have multiple menus. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with that, and we'll get into that in another video. But I'm just going to create menu as a default. That's just the name. And then you can manage locations. And you can set the primary menu to the default menu, which is the one we just created. So I'm going to hit Save Changes. And then now we'll go back to Edit Menu. And that means that our default is going to be the primary menu, which is the one that shows up on the top usually. So now we can add items to our menu. So I'm going to add a contact page, the about page, and the blog page. And those are the 3 pages that we made. And we're not going to do the home page because the home page is going to be routed to by clicking on the logo on the left, or the site header text. So we're going to hit Add Menu, add to menu. And that's going to add all of these. And so you can also nest menus like this. So that's something that you can play around with. But we're going to have this. And I think I'm going to reorder it to have contact on top, and then about, and then finally blog. So we're going to save this menu. And another thing is that you can add custom links to the menu. You can add posts to your menu or categories. So you can pretty much add whatever you want to the menu. So that's pretty much it. And then let's take a look at what it looks like now. So bebop.co. Now we've got contact, about, and blog. And so these are our pages, and this will take us to the home page. And that's pretty much it. I do not like how if you hover over this, you can see down here, contact says !page _ ID equals 6. And that's really a bad setup. So let's change the permalink structure. So we'll go over here and into the menus, or the admin area. And then we're going to do settings and permalinks. And you can set this to a custom structure however you want. So you can have the format of the URL string be whatever you want. You can just click all these things to make like a little formula. But I really just like to have it as the post name. It's much simpler and it's easier and it's shorter. It's just better all around in my opinion. Maybe you could do like a category and then post name, but even that kind of complicates things. And so I prefer to just have it post name. So I'm going to hit save changes. And now I'm going to close out of this window. I want to keep things tidy. So now let's go to our website. And we can see now it says contact. So that's a much easier page to link to. And it's also easier to link internally to it. So like if this button needs to go to about, you don't have to remember that it's !page _ ID equals 7. So that helps with that. So that's the menu. And then we also want to be able to, like, let's say you want to make it sticky and you want to edit the background color or just change things around. So we can do that. And what we're going to have to do is create a template. So I'm going to go back into our admin area. I'm going to close this one out also. Okay, so we're in our admin area, and then we want to create a template. So I'm going to say templates. I'm going to click it. And then I'm going to say add new template. I'm going to select, and I'm going to choose header. And then I'll just call it, I don't know, default, I guess, default header. So create template. And it'll eventually pull up a bunch of different blocks that you can use to help you get started quicker. So this one has social media icons. If you want them in the header, I'd probably put mine in the footer. This one's kind of neat. It's got hours, business hours, and address. So that one would be interesting. Just for simplicity. Oh, and another thing is you can select based on like a thing. So like this is a subscribe, a hero, header, portfolio, etc. So it's currently sorting by headers. But for simplicity, I'm just going to grab this one. So insert. And here we go. And then I don't want this logo. Well, I don't have a logo for a sample site. So I'm just going to, well, let's click on it. Yeah. And so this is edit site logo. And so we don't want the site logo. We can just right click and delete that element. And then we can find maybe like what is it? Page title or it's site title. So we'll drag that up here. And that's going to be ASDLF or whatever. So we'll update that in a few minutes. But we've got this site title here. And then we can change the color. And so I'm going to change it to the color 2. So style. And it's currently the Catalina blue. Let's change it to color 2. Okay, so it's a little bit darker. And then here is our menu items. But these purple hovering doesn't really work for our current site. So let's switch that to maybe like a yellow on a hover. So if we click it, we can get edit nav menu, and this pulls our information dynamically. So this is pulling the menu that we created a few minutes ago. So the contact, about, and blog page, those are the menu items that we created in our default menu. Yeah, so and it even says right here, the menu is the default menu. So you can also, decide where you want the menu, like left, right, or center. And then you can choose the pointer. So right now it's underline, hover, and then there's a little underline. And then you can set animations and a bunch of other things. So you can kind of just have to play around with it. But I'm going to click style. And then I'm going to say the text color. Let's see here. What do we want the text color to be? For now, let's keep it as color 2. So I'm going to grab the global color and I'm going to say color 2. And so that changed it. But still this hover, we don't want the hover state to be purple. I would rather it be like a yellow because that matches our theme better so far. Or our colors, our global colors. Okay, so that changes that to yellow. So that's good. And then maybe an active state. We could have it be something. Oh, what happened? Oh yes, active color. We could just say let's say the active color is the text color is yellow and then the pointer color is also yellow. So that way it stays yellow and you're not hovering. So we'll hit publish. No, wait, actually we need to fix this button too. So we're not a nonprofit. So let's, instead of making this donate now, we'll say view calendar. And then you could have like a Calendly link or, you know, whatever sort of calendar application, or maybe just a page that links to a plugin. However you do that is up to you. I'm going to leave that blank just because, you know, there's a wide variety of options there. So we're going to change the background color to maybe color 2. And then let's change the text button text color to yellow. So that looks good to me, I think. And we could also reverse these colors on hover. So the text color is yellow and the background color is like this blue. So let's switch them around on hover. So 151C40, so that will be the text color. So text color, and then the background color is going to be the yellow. So this is kind of neat. So it switches, it's opposite when it's hovered. So that's kind of neat. And so that's pretty much our nav menu. The next thing we need to do is just hit publish. So we'll hit publish, and then we have to figure out when and where we want to display this menu. So I'm going to hit add condition, and this is going to be the primary main menu. So it's just going to be the entire site. So we're going to hit save and close. But you can customize that to only show on certain pages, only pad pages that are of a certain category, etc. And so that's live. So let's go check it out now. And here we go. And there we go. And so we've got our calendar button that doesn't go anywhere yet. Oh, and it's sticky by default. I don't remember setting that. So let's go back and fix that. I want to show you it not sticky. So we'll go here and then we'll click the entire section. And I think it's in the advanced section. If you do motion effects, is it sticky? Yes. So advanced of the section, motion effects, you can turn sticky, none, top, or bottom. And so we'll keep it at the top so it sticks to the top of the page. And this is good because then the user can always, you know, view your calendar, or if you had like a call now button or some sort of call to action, you could make that always visible. So I really like sticky menus. So that's pretty much how we set up the sticky menu. And I think that's it for the menu. And let's fix this ASDLF now. So this is basically just something that we threw together when we were building the site. If you go to the dashboard admin area, and then I think it's appearance, no, it's settings, general, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we get this site title. So we can just say Olympia Strong. And then you can add whatever you want for the tagline and a bunch of other stuff. So that's pretty much it. And then we can go down, hit save changes. All right, and then let's take a look. All right, now it says Olympia Strong, and that looks better. So we just finished adding the header. I think a next good step would be the footer. So we'll do it basically the same way. And we're gonna go, well, let me close this out. let's go back to our admin area. And then templates, add new. And then we're going to select footer, and I'm going to call it default footer. Create template. Then we get blocks that we can choose from. And I'm going to scroll down and try to find one that works. I'm going to use this one here. So it's got the about and then the social icons and then a testimonial slider, it looks like. So I'm going to hit insert. And here we go. And then I would like to change the color. I'll change this background color to color 2. So we'll go to style and then color 2. And then we'll change this to the yellow. So text color, colored text. We'll change this to white. Okay, text light. And if we click on these, that's kind of weird, actually. So as soon as I clicked on it, those showed up, and I don't know why that is. So yeah, but if we click style, you can change the secondary color to pretty much whatever you want. I'm going to leave that, what was it, white, I think? Yeah. And then if you want to change the hover color to not be like this green color, then you can just go down here, icon hover. You got these colors that you can adjust. So I'm going to leave it like that just because I don't really have, well, I guess maybe a yellow would be better. So let's click those and then icon hover, and we'll do the global yellow color for the border color, and then secondary color, the yellow. And so let's change the text. I have a footer -text file available in some of the course files. So let's open that up, and we're going to grab the about text. So I'm just going to grab it here, copy that, and then I'm going to replace this text. So we'll go over to the content tab, highlight and paste it in. And I don't know why I messed around with the spacing, but we'll have it all one line. Okay, that looks good. So there we go for that. And then we do have the testimonials here. So we've got 3, oh, I can't slide it yet because it's still in edit mode, but we have 3 slides. So if we click on this element here, we get an edit testimonial carousel, and we have 3 items. So I want to change these. So the top one is going to go in the top, and we're going to work our way down. So I'm going to copy that, paste it into this top one. Okay, and then we can leave the name, and then the title is going to be, because this is an Olympic weightlifting website, they have like stats, like your weight, and then the amount of weight you lift. So I'm going to put that in the title. So there we go. And then we're going to do the same thing with items 2 and 3. So just copy, paste, copy, paste, and copy. Oops. Copy. And then we'll add the title here. Okay. And then I'm pretty sure this is just going to be, I don't know, whatever his name was. Okay, so that's good. And now I'd like to make this a little prettier, the actual quote bubble. So let's fix that. And we can do that with the Style tab. And then the first thing we're going to do is make sure that the background is yellow. for the slides. So background color is currently, it looks like it's just like a transparent. So let's switch it to yellow. Actually, let's keep it transparent. And then let's change, not the slide, but the, I think it's, no, it's the bubble. Yeah, but I think we want to change this bubble. There we go. And then I don't know what the, okay, padding should be fine, 45, I think. And we were going to want to add a border radius if you don't want it so pointy. So I'm just going to do 25 pixels, and that'll make it like a nice little bubble. And then we can keep this text, the title or the name of the person, white, but I'd like to change this like gray color because it's not very easy to see with this dark blue under it. So let's go to the content, and I think it might be this title color here. So let's change this to a yellow. So I think that's it for these. We could add links. I mean, you'll probably want to add links to the social media icons, and you can do that in the content area. So if you click on Facebook here, then you can just add your link, and then you can determine whether it opens in a new window or not. So you can just add your links here. So I'll do one. Okay, and then I think that's it. So, oh, we can get rid of this. I don't want that. So we'll hit publish, and then we have again to choose where we want it. I'm gonna say the entire site, save and close. Okay, so I think we're done. Let's go check it out. Okay, so now if we scroll down, boom, there's our footer. But I do not like this. And this is an Astra thing that needs to be removed. So let's remove that. And the way that we do that is with the customizer. And so you can press this customize here, or you can go into appearance, themes, customize. So let's do it that way, just to be slower, I guess, more comprehensive. So we'll hit appearance, and then I think it's customize right here. So 2 ways to get to the same place. And once this section loads, the footer, well, so we're trying to remove this thing here. So if we go into, I think it's the footer builder, there's this little copyright thing that we can remove. So I think if we just hit X here, I think that gets rid of it. So let's hit publish. And then let's go back to our main site. And then scroll down to the bottom. And it's gone. Okay, great. So our footer is all set up and ready to go. And another cool thing is you can drag and drop or drag and slide these little sliders. So that's cool. But anyway, that's it for the footer. Let's create a pop-up now. And I'd like to set it so this button here brings up a pop-up that allows the person to sign up for a gym membership or whatever. So we can do that with, again, with a template. So we're gonna go to our admin area. And then templates, add new. And then we'll select a pop-up, and I'm just gonna call it by membership. And then I'll hit create template. And then we can find a template that works for us. And I think I'm actually gonna use this first one here. So I'm just gonna hit insert. Okay, and so you'll notice this is completely not related to weightlifting, but that's totally okay. We just have to change out the images and the text, and we're good to go. So let's start by changing this text. I'm gonna just make it say starter, and I'll do $79.99 a month. And then I'll change the text color to yellow using the global color. And then I'm going to change the background color for this white here. And you'll notice it's kind of hard to select, possibly, depending on your screen size maybe. But you want to click, and it's not actually the section that you want to edit, because the section is this entire space here. What we want to edit is the column. So the column inside this section. And you're going to learn that just by experience. But this is the column that we're going to edit the background color for. So if we hit Style, and then we go ahead and choose our brown or whichever color you want, that will work for us. And then we want to change this text color to white. So we'll do Style, Text Light, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this button and make it more appropriate. So instead of Shop New Arrivals, it'll just be like Buy Now. And let's change the text. So I have a pop-up notes file, pop-up text. And so this is the original text. And so I made something approximately the same length that still kind of gets the point across. So I copied that and then I paste it in here. And then we'll go ahead and get rid of this space. I don't know why I added that. Okay, so there we go. We've got some text. And then this text, I don't want it to say new arrival. And another thing, you can add a space here by adding a BR. So a opening bracket, BR, and then a closing bracket here. So that will add a new space. And so I'm going to say get, and then, well, why don't I just edit it over here? Strong. So that's what that'll look like. And then I'm just going to get rid of this one entirely. This little one right there. Okay. And then the next thing is I'll probably change this color of this button. So we'll do a style, and then I'll make this color maybe sapphire, and I'll probably want to bold this text here. So if you want to bold the text, you can go into typography, and then you can give it a higher font weight. So that might look good. I think that looks better. So 600 should be good. And so now we just got to switch out this image. And so this image is in this column here. So this column right here, but I can't select it. So we are going to have to use the navigator for this. So we can just click navigator, and then we just have to click around to figure out which one it is. So let's give it a shot. If I click this section, it's up here, so that's too high. So it's probably not in this section. It's in this section. And it's either going to be this column or this column. So if I click that one, that's not it. So it's got to be this one. So because I've clicked this column in the navigator, it's selected over here. So now I can go to style, and then we can choose the image, and then we can use an image from our media library, or we can add another image. And I'm going to end up using, I think I'm going to use this mobile one. So I'm going to select that one, insert, and I think that looks okay. So, oh, one more thing, let's switch out this text color to yellow. So text color yellow. Okay, so that looks better. Okay, so now we have our pop-up, and we just have to determine when it gets used. So we're going to hit publish, and then I'm going to not add any conditions. So this pop-up isn't actually going to show up anywhere until we manually set it to show up. So we'll just hit next, and then we're going to say next again, next. And okay, so it's live. And one thing about the button that I'm not going to get into is there is the actual purchasing setup. And the reason for that is because there's just too many options. So I originally tried a PayPal button, but the PayPal button doesn't work in incognito mode. And so that was a problem. And then also I didn't want to get too deep into like e-commerce, because you would, if you want to set up like a membership, you may need some sort of like e-commerce plugin, and that opens up a whole can of worms. So I just wanted to kind of focus on this here, and then we can cover e-commerce type of setup later on in another video. But anyway, that's it for this pop-up here. So now we'll need to actually link to it, so when you click a button, the pop-up displays. All right, so let's go back to the home page where we're going to set up our pop-up.
and we'll want to go to the editing page. So edit page. And this is the home page, so that's why I'm editing the home page. Edit with Elementor. And then I'm going to scroll down to the Start Today button. I'm going to click on it. And then we're not going to have a link, so I'll get rid of that pound sign. But I'm going to say, what is it? Oh, it's actually this dynamic tag. And then there should be a pop-up option. So actions here, and then if you click pop-up, then we can click this wrench icon to select the pop-up. So we'll have action, and it'll be open pop-up, and then the pop-up that we're going to open, and you'll have to type in one of the characters in the pop-up's title, I think it was. So I think I said buy, so I'm gonna write BU, yeah, buy membership. So I'm gonna click that one, because that's what I named the template. And so now if I hit update and then go to the website and scroll down to the pop-up button, if I click it, it should open our pop-up. Oh, and we've got this space, so let me try to fix that. Let's go back to our template where we created our pop-up and update it. So we'll go to our admin area and templates. We'll click templates, and then I'm going to click all. I don't know why it says no templates found, but you click all and then all of them show up, and then we'll click edit this by membership template. Edit with Elementor. Okay, and then we want to get rid of this space up here. And so I'm not exactly sure why that space is there to begin with. I think they may have added some margin or padding to one of the sections that pushes everything down, but we want to move it back up, or move the background image at least up, and then probably this as well. And so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to grab, I think, let's check the top section first. So, and this is going to be one of those things that you just have to play with to figure out. But let's go to the navigator, and then we're going to grab the top section. And then if we look at the advanced tab, we can see that we have negative 121 margin. And so let's just get rid of that to see what happens. And then let's see what happens when we start adding it back. And it was negative, so we're going to be adding by decreasing. And so every pixel, you can see that this image gets moved up. And so basically what's happening is this section is pushing space away from, like, that's what margin does, is it determines how far away another element is from itself. And so if you do negative margin, it kind of reverses it. So 0 margin would be where they're right up snuggled next to each other. But then the negative margin would be them overlapping. So by adding a negative 121, you're able to get this picture on top of this element here. So that's basically how that works. So that's negative margin. And again, we need a negative 121. And so we still got to figure out what's up with this bar here. And so there's some kind of advanced ways to figure this out by using like HTML or the inspector to find out that it's a margin issue. So if we click here, you can see this little orange bar. That's what's causing it. But I don't want to get into like HTML and CSS here. I just kind of want to show you the clicking around way, because I'm assuming that many of us watching this video are not developers. So we can click, basically. You'll have to click around on sections and see, okay, there's no margin or padding here, but what about this one? What about the intersection? If you click here, you can see, oh, there's some margin top. And so that might be what's causing it. So let's shrink it down to 0. And we can see that that fixes the problem. So that bar is fixed. So we can go ahead and hit update. And then once again, no conditions, save and close. Okay, that's done. Let's refresh this page and then go check out the pop-up again. Okay, so I refreshed the home page and I want to click on this button and we have our pop-up. And then let's also make sure that it looks good mobile. Not the best. The first thing we could do is adjust this image to be more mobile friendly, but I'm going to leave that up to you because I already showed you how to resize images. And the next thing is to fix this bar here. So I guess we just basically moved it from one place to another instead of actually fixing the problem. So what we can do is, well, this was actually kind of challenging to figure out. So unfortunately, I don't really have an easy way to suggest you to look other than once again clicking around. But even then, this might be a challenging part. So what we're going to do, well, this figuring it out is a challenging part. Once you understand it, it's not too bad. But what we want to do is click on the navigator and then go to the column in the bottom section. And I'm not actually sure which column that we're supposed to edit. We want to grab the column with the button and the text editor in it, and we want to give it a margin bottom of negative, I think it was 81. Oops. I'm going to click this to unlink, and then you want to do, I'm pretty sure it's negative 81. So I'm going to update this and click save, and then I'm going to refresh. Oh, this is an updating. Oh, we're going to get rid of that one. We're going to refresh on this page, the home page that we're editing. Okay, so I'll click this, and here we go. But now it breaks. Yeah, it breaks this. So we want to do this. We want to set that margin only on mobile. So we'll click this, and we're going to say it's 0 here on desktop, but on mobile it's negative 81. Oops, and I got to unlink it again. Negative 81. So we'll click update again, and then now we'll refresh. And so hopefully it will look good regardless of what screen size we're on. So it looks good. And it looks all right. And so once again, you'll have to resize the image if you want to make the image look better. But we know how to do that already. So I'd like to work on the links or button, like linking to other pages. So this count me in button could go to the contact page or wherever you want it to go. But let's go ahead and set up links. So if we want to make a button go somewhere, you just click edit so we can get to the editing area. And then we'll click on this count me in button. And then basically this link just needs to say where you want it to go. So https://beepbop.co/contact, because that's the name of the page that we had here. This is the URL for that page. So, and then you can also determine whether you want it to open a new window or not. And usually what I do here is if the page links to something else in the site, it will not open in a new window. But if it goes to something like Facebook or something, then it will go in a new window. So this is an internal link. So I'm going to hit update without that, or without the new window. Okay, and then let's go to the website. Hit count me in. And then it takes us to our empty contact page. And we haven't designed that yet, so there's nothing really fancy that's going to be there. So that's good for that. And then let's also do these sign up pages. We could take us to this Start Today section. And so going from one location on the page to another location on the same page is called a page jump. And you need to use an anchor and a link to do that. So let's go back to our editing page. and we're going to create a link here. So this link, we're just going to link it to get started, and that's with a pound sign in front of it. So pound sign get started, or hashtag, and then down here we're going to need to use an anchor. And so this pound sign get started is a link to the anchor. And so we're going to put the anchor maybe under these 2 lines, but we'll click these 9 dot things here, and then we'll type in anchor. And so, wait a minute, I don't know if it's menu anchor. Okay, it is menu anchor. So we're going to do menu anchor. I don't know. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to say a menu anchor is the same name as the hashtag when whatever followed the hashtag. So we're going to say get started. And that's because the hashtag get started is what was above, is what the link was. So it's going to match this, and then that's how it's going to link. So we'll hit update. Okay, and then we'll go back to our main page and refresh. Okay, and then now if we click sign up, it's going to take us all the way down to this page here. And so that's basically how you do page jumps. And you can do that with any links, and they can go as far down the page as you want. So that's pretty cool, and that is menu or page jumps. So the next thing I'd like to do is set up the blog page. So in order to make a blog page, we're going to want some blog posts. So let's go back to our dashboard area, and we're going to create a few blog posts to mess around with. So we're going to go, there's a posts tab right here, and you can click on that. And then we have a bunch of posts, or a list of posts. And we're going to need to make a bunch of them. So I'm going to do one, and then I'm going to show you all of the ones that we need to make, or that I'm going to make. So I'm going to trash this one. Okay, so that's in the trash, which will make a new trash tab here. But we're going to add a new one. And then I'm going to call this one best heart rate measurement tools. And then I'm going to give it a category and a tag. Well, actually multiple tags. And so one thing that I would point out when you get started, you're going, well, actually just in general, I found it easier to work with tags than categories. And so I highly recommend only setting one category. And then if you're going to do any sort of sorting on your, or filtering for different posts, then use tags. So anyway, we're going to give this category, we're going to add a new category, and I'm going to call it cardio, and then add new category. Okay, and then that's basically how you add a category. And then tags, you can add them by separating with commas. So I'm going to add cardio and equipment. Okay, and then that should be it. Well, we're going to want some lorem ipsum as well. So I'm going to go to lorem ipsum. If you just do a Google search for that, it'll come up with the generator. You scroll down a little bit and you can get this first paragraph here. And then I'm going to paste in a few blocks. Okay, and then the post, well, okay, so there's a block tab and a post tab. And so this is about the Gutenberg editor. We're not going to get too much into that. It's pretty self-explanatory though. It's very similar to Elementor. But on the post tab is where you have the permalink and the template and a bunch of other like post related settings. And then the block is for like block settings. So you can have like, this is a paragraph block, and then there's image blocks, etc. that you can add. So if I wanted to add a new block, you just plus, and then you can choose whatever. And then, so these are the settings for this specific block. So like a heading is going to look a little different than a gallery. So each thing has its own settings. So that's pretty much the Gutenberg editor. But what we need to do is we're going to also add a featured image. And I have a featured image available for us already in the course files. So right here, featured image, the image is 1199 by 628. Technically the ideal is 1200 by 628, but occasionally the image cropping tools will cut off an extra pixel, unfortunately, but not a big deal. So we're going to set featured image and we're going to upload. And then I'm going to say featured image. Okay, there we go. Set featured image. Okay, and so I think we're good for this individual post. So I'm going to hit publish. Okay, and then let's click this admin area and I'm going to look at our existing posts. Okay, there we go. We've got one category and the tags cardio and equipment. Okay, and so I'm going to speed this up and we're going to make I think it's like 6 posts with different amounts of tags. So I'm going to speed it up and I'll see you in a moment. So this is the amount of posts and the tags that each one's going to have that we're going to use for our blog page. And if you want to quickly edit tags or other details of the post, you can use the quick edit to quickly add and update tags and categories and stuff like that. So just a quick tip. And once you have all of these, then we can start working on, they all have featured images and they all have lorem ipsum text. So let's go ahead and go to the blog page now to edit that. So we'll click pages and then we'll click blog and edit with Elementor. And we're going to edit with Elementor. Okay, and then the way that I want to do it is I want to have like a section up at the top that talks about the blog, like just the basics. And so we're going to create a section here with 2 columns. I'm actually going to leave the right column blank, and then we'll add a heading and then some text with the text editor. Okay, and I'm going to make this heading say Olympian Strength Blog, and then I'm going to take this text here. We're going to replace the lorem ipsum with some text that's in the course files, blog page text.txt. So it's this little hero text here. So I copied that and I'll paste it here. And then I'd like to add a background image into this section. So I'm going to click the section itself. And I'm going to go to Style and Background Type. I'm going to click Classic and then choose Image. I'm going to upload a file and I'm going to upload, I think it's Flipping Tire Desktop 1599 by 832. So I'm going to click that. And then insert media. Okay, and it's not tall enough, so I'm going to make this section taller with the height. So I'll just say, I don't know, maybe 700. That looks okay. And I want to make it so that this text is more visible. And so we can add an overlay, but we can also change the text color. So let's change the text color to white. And then I'm going to change the heading text to our yellow. And I'm also going to make it larger. So size probably, that looks good. And then I'll keep this the same. But what I want to do with the big part is the overlay. So in this section, we have the background type, but we also have a background overlay setting that we can make. I'm going to pick a color. And I'm going to use one of the colors from our global colors selection. And then you can adjust the opacity to whatever you want. And I'm going to stick with 0.82, I guess. Looks good. So that's what we have for our header section. And then we can just add the blog content underneath. So I'm going to use a heading. Oh, we're gonna make a new section first. So I've got a heading. I'll drag it in, and then I'd like to also add a divider. So I've got this here. And then I'm gonna say this text, this series of posts is just going to be posts that have the tag of weightlifting. And so now we're gonna add posts. And there's actually a posts element here. I think it's this one. So I'm gonna grab it and pull it over here. And then we've got all of the posts. Oops, and I forgot a featured image on one of these, but that's fine. So before we get into the post, let's fix this spacing here. So I personally don't like how much extra space there is here. And if you look at the weightlifting heading, there's not really any padding or margin to get rid of. And if you look at this divider, there's not really a whole lot to get rid of. So it might be hard to find where this, like how all this extra space is getting there. And the secret is it's in the column. If you look at the column, there's a widget space thing here, and it's set to default of 20. So if we put a 0 there, then that will get rid of the space, the 20 pixels of space in between each element in a column. So that can help you get rid of that space. And then let's go back to this posts here. And so we're creating a section for weightlifting posts, right? So what we want is to only get the posts that are tagged weightlifting. So the way that we do that is by going to this query tab. So if you shrink down the layout, then there should be a query available. And so you can get the source by posts, and you can include by term or author. And then if you include by term, you can select the term. And so one of the terms available is the tags. So if you type in, oops, that was weird. If you click in it and it says, please enter one or more characters, then you type in weight, then it should say tags weightlifting. And so we can search by only the tags of weightlifting. So these are all the posts that have the tag of weightlifting. So that's great. And let's see here. That's pretty much it for that. I want to go ahead and add this featured image, and you know how to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and fix that real quick off screen. Okay, so I'm done with that, and let's say we want to make another section like this, but instead of weightlifting posts, we want it to be like diet or cardio or something. Well, you can do that. You can right click and duplicate a section, so that's, or a header or elements as well. So right clicking and duplicating can make things a little bit quicker. I'm going to grab this text and change it to diet. And then if we want to switch to diet posts, then all you have to do is click on it and then adjust the query. So instead of term tags weightlifting, we can do diet. So tags diet. There we go. And then if you wanted to do one more, we could do like, you know, recents or whatever. But, well, actually, let's do that. So let's duplicate, and then we'll change it to recent posts. And then we'll click here into the posts and say the query is, oh, I think by default, if you don't have any terms that it sorts by, then it's just automatically recent. So that's how we'll set up recent posts. And then there's also a bunch of other stuff you can do, like you can determine how many columns, how many posts per page, you know, a lot of different settings that you can play around with. But I'm going to leave that just like that. And so we've got weightlifting, diet posts, and recent posts. And then I do want to add a call to action here. So we're going to do that, and we're going to put it right between weightlifting and diet. So we're going to click on this little plus button here. It'll pop up when you are highlighting between or hovering your mouse between sections. And then we can use this folder icon. And I think we'll be able to find a call to action if we hit blocks. And then in the search bar, you can type in CTA, which stands for call to action. And then I wanted to use this one here, insert. Okay, so we got the call to action, but now we need to adjust some of the stuff. Okay, so we're gonna change this color here, and I'm gonna change that to yellow. And there's different tabs. There's in the style, there's the box, the content, the button, and the hover effects. So the title's probably under the content. So yep, here it is, title. And I'm gonna say title color is a yellow. And then I'm gonna say, well, let's give the content. I'm gonna make the content of the title say lift heavier stuff. And then this block is just going to say join our family of people that like putting really heavy stuff over our heads. Our coaches are professional, highly trained, and USAW certified. Our members are friendly and supportive. Okay, and then I'll change the color of that to description color is going to be white. I don't think that C is supposed to be capitalized, but that is okay. And we're gonna change this button color. So the button text color, we can keep that black, I guess. And then the background color can be the yellow. And then maybe do like the brown on hover. So background color, French pouce. And then we'll probably want to make that text white on hover. So that looks good, I think. And then we need to change this image. So I'm pretty sure it might be the content. Yeah, content and then image. So once again, I'm going to reuse this header hero image that we've been using quite a bit. Right here, I think. Yeah, 500 by 600. So I'm going to insert media. And there we go. I think that looks okay. One option I did find in the style tab is a hover effect, and you can set the overlay color. So if we go here, then we can make it darker or lighter. So, because I don't like how it's such an abrupt shift from the image to the text. So I think what I'd like to do is set this to 000000066. And so that's basically black because it's 6 zeros and then 66, determines the opacity. Let me do that again. So 6 zeros and then a 66 will make this. And I like how it's a little bit more of a subtle change. But that's personal preference. And I think that might be it. We could change this text to not be read more, because that doesn't make sense. Where is that? It should be under content. Read more button text. So sign up, exclamation point, and then you would have the link where it goes to. So either the calendar page or, whatever. And you can also add a ribbon. So it does something like this, but I'm going to leave that off for now. Okay, so that's it for the call to action, at least for now. So I'm going to hit update. And then we're almost done. The next thing I want to do is figure out the blog template. So typically websites have a blog and they have articles on the blog. And so if you look at the blog as we have it now, so we'll click on our blog page and then we'll see our list of posts. If we click on one, it's kind of gross. It's not designed at all. And so we can set a customized template to make it look like uniform with all the other posts. So let's talk about that in this section here. So the first thing that we're going to do, well, one key point is that I highly recommend using Gutenberg, the built-in Gutenberg editor, to write your content, your blog posts, and then use the Elementor template. And so I'll show you basically. Let's go to Edit Post. And so notice how the content is here inside of the Gutenberg editor. I didn't click Edit with Elementor. I'm doing it inside the built-in text editor in WordPress. So I recommend using that. And then what we can do is we can pull the content from Gutenberg and paste it into Elementor. And we're going to do that with the template. So the way that we do that is, let's go to our admin area. And then templates, we'll click templates. And then we're going to click add new. We're going to select, and a single post is what we want. And I'm going to call this singular post. And I'll hit create template. Okay, and now we can choose how our post, or in each individual post, is going to look. And so we could use this one. But I'm actually going to scroll down. I found one that I liked, and it's kind of a ways down here. It is this one right here. So let's click on this one. And then we'll hit Insert. Oh, and I always forget this. I'm going to hit No for inserting document settings. And what that does is it basically just overwrites like whatever is in this settings cog. So this settings cog is the settings. And so when you want to import a template, that template will have something set up in here. And I'm pretty sure that that's what it's doing. It's just overwriting stuff here in the settings cog. So I'm going to go back over to these 9 dots so I can grab like some customized information here. Okay. And so this is what our template's going to look like. And so this is the post title. And you can see that here it's edit post title. So it pulls in dynamic content. So if you're on the How to Walk Your Dog post, it's going to pull in the post title, which is How to Walk Your Dog. So that post title is going to be different for each post. And so it's going to do that on a lot of these things. So like this, these are the tags, I think, or post info. And then here's the comments and the author. And then down here, you've got the author bio. So it's pulling all of that information in dynamically. So let's edit this color here. I'm going to say this is going to be a yellow. And then I think this should already be featured image. So edit section, style, background is already featured image. Okay. And then we might need to make it no repeat, but we'll find out. And let's see here. I'm going to leave all of that alone. And I do want to change the background color of this section. And we'll want to grab the section here. So if we click on this section, I think it's the section. If you look at style, background type, color, let's try setting the color. Okay, that does work. And what you're going to notice is it's going to cause the image to not be visible anymore, because it used to have this image right here, and right here. So let's go ahead and just publish it. Add condition. And this time we're going to be very specific with what we need, or when this template is going to display. It's only going to display in posts. And I'm pretty sure that this is what we want, all posts. And so we're going to hit save and close. Okay, and then now let's open up a new, well, actually we have the blog over here. So let's get rid of this editing page and go look at the blog post. So we'll click blog, and then we'll click any one of the posts, and we'll see here we are kind of close. But like I was saying, this image should show down here a little bit. So we'll want to fix that. So if we go back here, we can basically just edit this column, and then we'll want to go to the advanced section. We'll want to unlink, and then we're going to give it some padding or some negative margin. And I think it was negative 130 is what I set originally. So negative 130 margin, and there we go. And so I think that looks a bit better. So let's hit update. And then I'm going to click over here on the post and refresh. Okay, and I think that looks better. So now we can change this text color down there. So I'll give that maybe a bluish color. Sapphire sounds good. And then here's the author, and you can add a bio if you wanted, but I don't have a bio in this current user, so it's not going to show anything. But you can pretty much just, here's the author box, and you can customize it. You can show or hide the profile picture. You can edit the color of the author or the author text or whatever. And then I don't want to do Facebook comments. I'd rather have the default comments. So I'm going to right click and delete. And then I'm going to click the 9 dots, and then I'm going to type in comments. And then I'm going to say post comments is what I want. There we go. And it's already got this leave comment text, so I'll just get rid of this one. And I think that's good. Okay, let's hit update. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the page and refresh. And I think everything looks pretty good so far. So if the one thing that you may have problems with is in the section image or the featured image, so this grabs the featured image that you set, and it may want to like repeat itself, and so you can play around with the attachment and do like, well, center or size. You can hit cover or auto or whatever, and then you can set repeat to no repeat. You can kind of play around with that to see what it is looking for, or to get it to look the way that you want it to. But I would recommend using the recommended featured image size, which is 1200 by 628, and that will help out with ideal image sizes for featured images. And then I think that's it for the template. It's just a matter of customizing it to however you want. So we're pretty much done with the app. There are 2 pages that we did not do, which is the contact page and the about page. And the reason we didn't do it is because it's basically just more of the same exact stuff. And so this is what we would end up with. But like I said, we've pretty much already done this. And so what I would like to recommend is that you import templates into like test pages. And anytime you see something that you like, so for example, this contact page is literally just a template that I pulled in from the existing templates of Elementor, and then I changed the colors and the photos. That was it. So they already provided this little like triangular angled section change. And so I like this, right? And so maybe you don't know how to do this. Well, it's super easy. All you have to do is hit edit with Elementor, and this is like more regarding troubleshooting in general. So you find it something that you like, you just go to that section and you click around. So I'm like, okay, I like this, right? So let me try to click on the section. So I don't know why it's not clicking or letting me click on it, so I'll just go to the navigator. I know how to do that already, so I'm going to click the top section and see if this is where the triangle is at. And it looks like it is because you can see the blue outline. So now I click over here, I see maybe it's in the layout. I click around, I don't see anything. Okay, well, let's check the style tab. Let's look around. And if you click here, it's probably not the background overlay, or maybe there's part of it, you know, the shading, how this image is darker. But if this shape divider looks like it might be it. Okay, and so I look at top and it says type of none. Let me just click around. Oh, there it is. There, at least it's a hint that I'm close, right? So, and it's set to the top. So I'll hit go back to none. Maybe because this triangular thingy is on the bottom, I click bottom and we see type tilt. And so let's try to adjust the tilt. Ah, there it is. So now I know exactly how to do this. So if I wanted to, I could just delete all of these things, delete everything below it, and then just use this template, or this little piece of the template, and then import it to wherever I need on my site. And then another example of something that was kind of neat is this here. So let me get rid of that. So as you scroll down, whoa, I like how the girl just kind of appears and she stays in place. It's parallax. But so let me click, right? I can click here. Maybe it's this section. Okay, I can't get to it. So maybe it's the form. Okay, probably not the form because it's kind of high up there. Let's click the numbers. Nothing. What about the CTA? So I'll hit style. Oh, there it is. So there's the image. And I've got the size attachment is fixed. So that sounds like it might be it. Let me try to change it to scroll. Oh, and there we are. So that's pretty much just how you troubleshoot. You just kind of click around until you figure out where the thing that you're looking to try to accomplish is. And that's it. So that's troubleshooting in a nutshell. And if you want to see the rest of the videos of me doing the contact and the about page, I do have a part 2 that is available on the page that all of the links were available on. So feel free to check that out. And there are a few other tutorials that you may be interested in. The first one that I could think of is optimizing the page using plugins. So I want to show you how to get the page loading in under 2 seconds. And that's actually pretty easy and straightforward. It's just a couple plugins that you use, and they're very, very simple to set up and use. So optimizing the page, because by default, the page without any optimizations is probably going to load in like 10 seconds. And you want really ideally under 2. And then another one is setting up your email marketing. So, you know, collecting leads and all of that, and building your business and your audience. We can help with videos on setting up your email marketing. And then there's also A/B testing, which is basically where you test 2 different versions of the site and see which one performs better. So that's something that we'll be working on soon. There's also like Google Analytics and a bunch more. So I'd highly recommend subscribing to the channel to continue learning how to improve your website and grow your business.